Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Stephen Curry, Underrated, and this is a new documentary from A24 and Apple TV+, focusing on the Golden State Warrior All-Star, one of the biggest stars in professional basketball, Stephen Curry. And this film doesn't necessarily focus on just being start to finish a biopic of who Curry is. Director Peter Nix and the editor working on the film as well, how they go about this is J.D. Marlowe, is you're looking at Curry now, finishing his college degree, trying to make sure that he finished the college degree that he never got when he was in college because he left early going to the NBA. You see today, you see him interacting with his kids, his professors, wife, all of those elements, and they're very intimate. They build empathy and sympathy in this situation where we understand him as a person, and I think those elements are needed. Then it really bounces back and forth with parallel struggles between his time in high school going into Davidson, his college, where they were a team that wasn't expected to be going to the Elite Eight of the NCAA March Madness tournament. But this team overachieving. This man who's smaller than most, skinnier than most, who played the NBA in the position that he plays, being this underdog. And that's what's the strongest element of this film, is this underdog, an inspirational story that we see this man live. It's interesting because some of the strongest moments are a couple of montages that bring a lot of emotion to the surface. But in general, this is, in many ways, a pretty straightforward documentary. But its non-linear storytelling has elements that deepen the themes of what's trying to be portrayed through Curry's story. But also there's times where it's just it feels a little bit unnecessary and muddled, and there's elements where it rushes through most of his NBA career, and I don't think this documentary was really meant to focus on that as much. I do appreciate the usage of real clips from, Skip Bayless and Cowherd and all of these other personalities that are talking crap on Steph Curry, and seeing him succeed in the ways that he did. And I think this film, it's not a great documentary. It's not something that's going to blow you away. And I had pretty high expectations because it's an A24 documentary, and Boys State on Apple TV Plus blew me away. But this is a really well-made, meaningful, and moving kind of story. It doesn't quite hit the emotional depth that some other underdog stories do, but it does hit it in an effective way. So there is feeling, there is an interesting story, and there's an intimacy here that makes for a strong, well-made documentary experience. And as somebody who doesn't watch a ton of basketball, I pay attention. I haven't regularly watched basketball since probably when I was 13 years old, and I'm 31 now, but I still pay attention to it. I know the legacy that Steph Curry has, and it helped me deepen my understanding of the things that he had to overcome. Because I didn't know basketball well enough to realize, he's was an underdog. People didn't expect him to be that great because of his size and everything. But I do think that this film does a good job of building this up and portraying an interesting and engaging story. But those are my thoughts on Stephen Curry, Underrated. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.